Hello, welcome to this session titled Visual Learning in Virtual Environments in the Track Education and Societies. This session includes two short papers. First, Borim and Kyungeun will share with us the presentation titled Cultivating Human Potential in Virtual Art Studios, where they investigate the ability of remote art learning to unlock human capabilities. The second paper, presented by Adnan Hadzi, is titled Artistic Research in European Extended Reality Laboratories. This paper analyzes the use of immersive experiences within artistic research as an interdisciplinary environment between artistic, practice-based research, visual pedagogies, social and cognitive sciences. So let's welcome the authors. Thank you all for coming and let's enjoy the presentations.
Hi everyone, thank you for attending this video conference session. I am Borim at East Carolina University.
I am Kyungeun Lim at Northern Arizona University.
We are very excited about this video presentation, and our presentation topic title is Cultivating Human Potential in Virtual Art Studios. So first of all, we've been observing some resistance from art educators to go through the online education format for studio teaching and learning. And then we got very curious about how art educators can transmit their passion and enthusiasm for art teaching and learning to cultivate human potential in the virtual classroom. So that has been our main research inquiry. And then we've been conducting research about what kind of instructional methods and technologies we can use to promote students' self-discovery and identity development. So 3 areas: visual art, digital technology, and education in virtual art classrooms. And then working definitions of a human potential according to Gardner, various human cognitive capacities we want to develop in our virtual art classrooms. So online art education. So we focus on students' self-directed learning based on their self-regulated learning. They are playing a very critical role in distance education. And according to Bandura, self-efficacy refers to an individual's belief that they have the competence to complete the work assigned. So based on these theories by the researchers and educators, we also focus on the topic of connection and communication in virtual art classes, and sharing feedback and building a learning community, which is a supportive community, supportive system for students in learning and their development. And the last conceptual component for our inquiry is the changes in our perception and also our interaction with the boundary between the real and the virtual. So we are, at least me, I am kind of digital immigrant as a teacher, but most of our students are digital natives, and all these different conceptions, different perceptions, and also different interactions based on our teaching and learning in the art classroom and online. So we focus on two the settings, university online classrooms in southeastern area in the United States. And then our data types are curriculum and contents, and students' learning outcomes, including artworks and their reflection papers. And then we use the grounded theory with open coding, and then literature review plays a very important role for that methodology. So first of all, how to teach a studio project online. This is the process for my course, reading, watching, creating through artwork video, sharing reflections, and getting feedback from the instructor and then from classmates, and have a chance to revisit and enhance their artwork, and then submitting the final artwork. So we've been using Blackboard and Canvas, and this is one of our students working in her kitchen for self-portrait, and another student self-portrait. And then identity development, self-reflection, self-directed learning, self-efficacy, self-discovery, and also all these can be interpreted in a self-regulated learning. This is a culture map they did for their self-portrait. Lastly, these are some images of my students' web page making about filtering their everyday life experiences. And then back to you, Dr. Lim.
I'm continue to explain and show the examples of how our online art classes can enhance students' self-identity and self-directly art creation. So these are examples of a student's mask design project. So even though that is an example from the in-person classes, but students continue to work in their online perspectives. Next, please. And this is another example of students can focus on themselves and their identity. So students encouraged to create an identity box. So these are assignment guidelines. So students have to put some materials that is really important to them or represent themselves, and they decorate it and paint the box. And then they have to write an artist statement to explain why these images are represented themselves. Next, please. And this is one example from that same assignment. So as you see, students created a greenhouse to express that student's memory with her grandfather. So students can actually have an opportunity to look back and determine the most important and most memorable and valuable experiences in their lives. Next, please. So, we argued that online art classes, students can increase their identity and self-directed learning. So, as the Arno explained, through the self-directed learning, students can become aware of themselves in depth by focusing on their own needs and learning paces. Also, we argued that students can enhance their self-efficacy to follow the steps of the assignments and guidelines. So the higher self-efficacy can enhance students can manage their complex tasks successfully, and also the students can do more interest in various digital technologies in online learning. Next, please. So based on the students' reflections and course evaluations, we also could see that how our online courses enhance students' identity and self-reflected and self-directed art creation process. As students one indicated that I knew how to discipline myself to complete assignments and studying. I learned the techniques to be productive while completing course online. Next, please. The next area in our research is connections. We actually build many connections layers in our online classes. One of the example is peer review process. So that is actually included in the assignments rubric. So every student have to submit peer review to other students. Next, please. Next, please. So this is one example for assignments for peer review. So students actually have to answer this kind of questions to other students' assignments. For example, in my course, one student need to uh, give feedback at least three students' work. So the example of the question student can consider is in the art integrated courses. For example, is this a true art integrated lesson or art enhanced lesson? Or did the conclusion of the lesson include reviewing the concepts? Or did the assessment work? Was the slide or teaching materials high quality? Next, please. The third area in our research is that we found students, they sometimes across the real and the virtual spaces. So the relationships between the physical and digital, between the real and the virtual were the aspect that we intensively explored in our course design process. So we found sometimes the people, the students, including me or instructor, they sometimes using their traditional type of the learning and bring that into the online settings. But we increased and we suggested that to focus on the strengths of distance learning and maximize its effectiveness in course design. So not just to bring the traditional type of learning materials to the online places, but we encourage the students and instructor can have to move across real and virtual spaces in for effective online learning. Next, please. So in conclusion, in our online art class courses, these are elements of our course design materials. So you can see the six elements are students, community, cultural environment, content, technology, and instructor. So we focuses on each element and connected each other and influence each other. Next, please. So these are references for our research. And another slide. Also continue to talk about our references. Next, please. And this is the end of our presentation. And if you have any questions, please email me or Dr. Borim Song. And thank you very much for your watching our research.
Thank you.